Alright, here we are with the 5-4 homework review. The first three up here. Number 9, you were given a point and you were given the slope, and the directions ask you to write an equation in point slope form. I will have that up here for you, and we're essentially going to be plugging these in. So we're going to say y minus 0 equals -1 times x minus 4. Y minus 0, of course, is just y. So we can reduce that and say y equals -1 times x minus 4. Number 12, you're given the equation and you're asked to graph. So we know that our slope is here, which is -1. There's no 1 there, but there's not a number. It's understood to be 1. And our point, notice that these are positive or plus signs. So our two numbers would each be negative, -2, -5. Now that we have those, we can graph. So I am first going to go to -2, -5, and then I'm going down 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. So that would be my line. So number 15, we're given our point and our slope, and we're just going to graph. So our point is 6, -1. I did not go nearly far enough. So we're going to go over to 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and down 1. And then our slope is -5/3. So we have to go down 5 and over 3. Down 5 over 3. I'm going to show you a little trick here because I don't have room to keep going. If I go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and left 3, 1, 2, 3, it'll be right here. That will be my third point, and there's my line. This is my points, but close enough. Alright, so that would be my line there, and 9, 12, and 15, and then 5, 7, and 9 from the next section. Number 5, we were given a graph and asked to write our equation. So the first thing we can do is just pick one of our points that we were given on this graph. You have to be able to read your points. I think I would use 1, 2 for my point. Looking for my slope, I'm going to go from one point to the other. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, and over 1, 2, 3, 4. So my slope would be 3, 4, which means that my slope is 3, 4, and my point is 1, 2. I think that's what I said. Yep. So if I'm putting that into point slope form, I would say y minus 2 equals 3/4 times x minus 1. There you have it. You could have used the other point that they gave you, which was -3, -1. That would be fine. The -3 would go in for your x, and the -1 would go in for your y, making it, it would make it y plus 1 equals 3/4 x plus 3. You could also have this equation. Either equation is fine. They're mathematically equivalent. Number 7, you're given two order pairs, and they ask us to write an equation Ooh, this one's good. Write an equation in point slope form and then write it in slope intercept form. So they're asking for both this form and slope intercept form, which, going back to the last lesson, 2, 4, and -3, -6 are our points. First thing we need to do for either equation is come up with our slope. So we're going to say (10/5), which is 2, is our slope. For point slope, we just need to pick one of our points then. I'm going to pick this one and say y minus 4 equals 2 times x minus 2. If we're figuring out slope-intercept form, remember we wanted to look like this, y equals mx plus b. If you distribute this and then bring this 4 over to the side, you'll have this form. That's probably the easiest way to do this. You could, of course, plug in a point and the slope and then solve for b, but really and truly, if you remember how to do this math, this really isn't very hard. If we get 0 for our intercept, which means we could simplify that to say y equals 2x. Y equals 2x is our slope-intercept form for that equation. The last one is number 9. Number 9, you were given a table, and it says that they want an equation in slope-intercept form, and then tell what the slope and the y-intercept represent. Well, the slope tells you the rate of change, and the y-intercept tells you, let's see, at 0 days, how much paint you would have. You can tell that just from the table. And slope-intercept form, so we need not point slope, but slope-intercept. So either way, we need to figure out what our slope is. So we're going to take 2 of these points, and let's see, I'll use 44 minus 20 over 5 minus 3. That goes backwards. 3 minus 5. So when this reduces, we get 22 over -2, which is the same thing as -11. So for every day, they're using 11 gallons of paint. That's a lot of paint. As someone who's just painted a couple of rooms, where Mr. Kunick painted a couple of rooms, that's a lot of paint. We've used 2 gallons and we painted 2 big rooms, so that tells you how much they're painting. Anyway, we also need to find the y-intercept, which we have technically figured out from our table, knowing this fact here. But let's do this the legit way. Sorry, I'm a little bit fascinated because I'm looking at the table and it looks like it's 12 gallons, but I got 11. So I'm thinking, oh, I subtracted wrong. Well, Mrs. Kunick, this should be 24 and this should be 12 then. So here's 12 gallons a day. So now we do have our slope. We can plug in one of our points, it doesn't matter which point, I'm going to use 5 and 20. We know our slope. If we multiply this, we get negative 60. So we're going to add 60 to both sides. And we can say that our intercept is 80 gallons, which looks good. So now I have our slope, which is negative 12x plus 80. So again, going to the second part of the question, they started with 80 gallons. They used 12 gallons a day. And that would be your slope-intercept form for that equation. That's it for lesson 5.4. As we have one more lesson this year, that's it. I will see you soon with that lesson.